was 17 years old when this happened, freshly licensed, barely experienced, and on my very first real date. I had known this girl since preschool. We grew up together, went to the same schools, shared the same small-town routines. Somewhere along the way in high school, we started talking more, hanging out more, flirting, without admitting that's what we were doing. We weren't officially dating yet. This was our first real attempt at it. I picked her up in my old truck that night, nervous but excited. My hands were sweating on the steering wheel. We went through a drive-thru and grabbed fast food, laughing over stupid jokes and music playing too loud through blown speakers. Then I drove us out toward a small lake on the edge of town. It was one of those quiet places people went when they thought no one else would be there. No houses, no traffic, just trees, water, and stars. The road there was narrow and unlit. My headlights carved tunnels through the darkness. I remember thinking how peaceful it felt, how far away from everything we were. Like the world had shrunk down to just the two of us in the lake. We parked near the water and climbed into the bed of my truck with a blanket. The air was warm, the sky was clear, and everything felt perfect in that awkward teenage way. We laid back, staring up at the stars, pointing out constellations we didn't actually know the names of. There was flirting, cuddling, giggles. The kind of night you think about years later and realize how innocent it really was. For a while, nothing felt wrong. But looking back now, there were small things I ignored. The silence felt heavier than it should have. The trees around the lake looked too close. The darkness felt deeper than usual. Then suddenly she sat straight up. Not slowly, not casually, she jolted upright like something had shocked her. I remember the exact way her body stiffened. Her breathing changed. Her eyes darted towards something behind me. I could see fear take over her face before she even spoke. I asked, "Are you okay?" She didn't answer. "What's wrong?" She lifted her hand and pointed. There was a public restroom nearby, maybe 50 yards away. A small concrete building near the edge of the trees. From where we were, you could barely see it, just a dark shape against the darker forest behind it. At first I saw nothing unusual, just the outline of the building, just darkness. I pulled my phone from my pocket and turned on the flashlight. The beam cut across the field and landed on the restroom wall. And that's when I saw him. A man stood peering out from behind the corner of the building. He was dressed in a full tuxedo, black jacket, white shirt, and a massive top hat perched on his head. He wasn't hiding well, he wasn't even trying. He was leaning around the corner of the building, staring directly at my date, and smiling. Not a friendly smile, not a confused one, a wide, frozen grin that didn't belong on a human face. For a moment, my brain refused to process what I was seeing. A tuxedo made no sense. A top hat made no sense. The fact that he was standing there, motionless, watching us, made no sense at all. My girlfriend squeezed my arm so hard it hurt and whispered, "We need to leave." But I was young and stupid and full of adrenaline. I shouted at him, "Hey, what the hell are you doing? Get out of here." The man slowly stepped back behind the restroom and vanished from sight. I tried to laugh it off. Told her it was probably a drunk guy. Told her it was nothing. But my voice shook when I said it. We tried sitting back down, but the night was ruined. Her body stayed tense. Her eyes kept drifting toward the restroom. Every sound from the trees made her flinch. Then she gasped. He was back, peeking from the same corner again, still smiling. That was when she started crying, not loudly, just silent tears and shaking hands. Something snapped in me. I jumped out of the truck bed and started walking toward him. I was yelling again, threatening him, telling him to leave. The closer I got, the farther back he moved, but he never turned away from me. He was running backward, still smiling, still staring into my eyes. Step by step, he retreated toward the tree line. When he reached the trees, he stopped and just stood there, half his body hidden by branches, top hat still visible, smile still frozen. The forest behind him looked endless, a black wall of trunks and leaves with no light inside it. I realized then how badly I'd messed up. There was no way I was stepping in there, not after him. I turned back toward my truck, and that's when fear hit me. I ran. As I reached the driver's door, I heard footsteps behind me, fast ones. My heart felt like it was trying to escape my chest. I threw myself inside and started the engine. The man ran straight to the passenger side where my girlfriend sat frozen. He grabbed the handle and yanked on it. The door was locked. I slammed the gas pedal and the truck lurched forward. Gravel sprayed behind us. In the mirror, I saw him stumble back into the darkness, still watching us leave. We didn't speak for several minutes. The road back felt longer than before. Every curve looked like it might hide something. Every shadow looked like him. The silence inside the truck felt heavier than the darkness outside. The only sound was the engine and our breathing. I kept checking the mirrors, expecting to see headlights or a figure running behind us. Every time the trees shifted in the wind, my chest tightened. Neither of us wanted to say his name. Saying it out loud felt like inviting him back into the moment. My hands were shaking on the steering wheel so badly I had to grip it harder just to keep the truck straight. At one stop sign, she finally whispered, "Do you think he followed us?" I didn't answer right away. I slowed the truck almost to a crawl and scanned the empty road behind us. There was nothing there. No movement, no headlights, just darkness and the reflection of our own fear in the glass. "I don't know," I said quietly. And that scared me more than anything else. I had never felt so unsure of the world around me. For the rest of the drive, I kept imagining him stepping out from between the trees again, smiling, watching, waiting. Every shadow looked like a body. Every road sign looked like a silhouette in a top hat. When I finally pulled up to her house, neither of us moved at first. We just sat there, staring at the porch light, like it was the only safe place left in the world. She held my hand so tightly it hurt, and I didn't pull away. Only when she reached her front door and locked it behind her did I allow myself to breathe again. Even then, I stayed in my truck for several minutes before driving away, afraid to turn my back to the street. When I dropped her off at her house, she hugged me and wouldn't let go for a long time. Neither of us ever went back to that lake again. Years later, when I think about it, what scares me most isn't what he wanted. It's how patient he was, how he waited, how he watched, how he smiled without blinking, no shouting, no rushing, just standing there, like we were entertainment. She's my wife now. We still talk about that night sometimes, about how close something terrible might have been, about how different our lives could have turned out if we had stayed just a few minutes longer. Every time I pass that road, I picture a man in a tuxedo, standing at the edge of the trees, smiling into the dark. And I never stop the car.